This is video number 20, and we're very closely coming to the end of all the labeling. Again, the common pattern is seen in all these constructions, similar to the Tycho crater. The towers are always around the craters, around the edge. I'm not sure why. And again, they're just towers. Many rod towers, which are usually bright white. Vertical. Some are horizontal in the craters and on the ground. Most are vertical. That's a very nice example. Again, you can see the bright rods individually, highly luminous. Again, around the edges, it's very common. It's a very dark green area. There's about 5 or 6 in that concentration there. That's very nice as well, but the resolution is not that high. I don't know how the astronauts from Apollo 8 would have reacted flying over now the far side of the moon and seeing these. I'm not quite sure the height they flew over, but these would have been probably visually seen. Quite a few constructions there. And obviously NASA then would have been in a very big shock, because they did find an alien base on the far side of the moon, closer than what they ever thought, and they realized the moon is fully populated with millions of aliens potentially. And they would have been very scared to alarm people here on Earth and cause panic, and they decided to keep it secret, which I would also do the same thing. You have a nice structure happening there in the excavation. More down here. Hopefully we're going to come to an end soon. Here we've got the towers and excavations, because this is now getting very monotonous. We haven't seen anything new, just variations of same type of construction. Many variations of the same type of building construction. Very dark area now. This gets more interesting. You've got the square areas around the excavations, and this looks quite interesting, that one there. That one as well. They're about 100 meters high, so that's, again, these are not small, they're about 30-40 stories. what seems like specks on the ground from this angle are very large constructions. There's no major rivers or water supply we can see. Obviously there's moisture happening because of the greenery. And they seem to produce a lot less waste than we actually produce on Earth. They're very efficient. Obviously, not to have any roads to transport food or goods. Or where are we going now? We're going back to Taika. I'll just switch that off. These are very interesting. This is in an area where the resolution has been highlighted. So it's close to the Mons Lahire craters and dorsum Zirkel. This is an area on the moon where our resolution is increased, and just as we go towards the edge, we'll see what looks like 3 huge towers that are about 2.5 high. That's 2.5 kilometers actually. I'll just show an example. So that is, well actually that's 3 kilometers high. And they look like towers that have actually melted, or a natural type of tower formations. So yeah, that's quite interesting. So that's an area where the resolution has been opened up. Then we'll go back to mare moscoviense, and we're heading towards the end finally. There's 3 towers on there. That's very interesting. So these are like step formations where you see 1, 2, 3. The tallest is 120. So it's like a triple tower. And that's fairly rarely seen, that type of configuration. And there's a rod building there. I have seen that in the moon photos where they actually have a triple tower, where they actually have a triple tower that's photographed, but again with those sort of photographs you can't actually zoom in yourself on Google Moon and see these structures. So that's why I assumed all these pictures I saw previously of moon structures could have been falsified or doctored just to sell books or sell their websites. Again, without actually being able to zoom in on your own on Google Earth to see these things, there's an element of, yeah, sure. It's a very nice one there. So as with most people who read about these things, they want to say, well, we want to see this with our own eyes and actually zoom into the moon's surface ourselves to spot these structures. So that's why I've documented all these long and tedious videos. That's very interesting there as well. 90 meters high. That's very luminous. They're about 120 meters, the tallest one, and again, shadows are coming off. Here you'll see the various rod type of buildings. the rod buildings there. Around the crater edge. It's a fairly dense green area happening there. Zigzag type of towers that always seem to form a zigzag shape as well. It's very dense populated area full of structures. That one as well. We're heading now towards the end. I also want to finally reach the end of this. Some more there. Again, without actually surveying the whole area and looking for all the various types of construction, it wouldn't be possible to comment on the features without doing all the in-depth scanning and study of the type of structures to try to find a common type of description of what's happening. That's a very clear one as well. I assume NASA has also archived all these pictures and various. That's a very interesting one down the bottom. But obviously they're hidden and not published or spoken about anywhere in the public literature. I was planning to write a book about these things, but it's a lot easier to use YouTube to actually zoom in as I talk to actually show these structures as they exist. Okay, it's a very, very, very bright towers. That's a very nice configuration in there. We're heading now towards the end. That's a very nice one. You'll see all the rods horizontally as well. Very nice one there.